The wrath of God is revealed from heaven against ungodliness and unrighteousness, which refer to the 10 Commandments and apply to our relationships with God and our fellow human beings. The first commandment is a warning against putting a mask on God's face, which makes him look like the devil, who has a dual character of good and evil. The second commandment tells us what those masks look like. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. We can break this commandment in 2 sections. First, God shows us what these masks look like, and then he tells us the consequences of following the gods. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them nor serve them. The warning is against carving an image, against chiseling a stone to form an image that looks like any creature that lives in the heavens, the earth, and the water. Creatures like birds, like the Egyptian god Horus, or calves, like the Egyptian god Osiris, or fish, like the Philistine god Dagon. These are all gods of good and evil, which, if we worship and serve them, give us a false understanding of God. The second part of this commandment states, "For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God." What does it mean that God is jealous? The word jealous means to be zealous, that is, jealous or envious. The same word is used in Isaiah 9:7. Of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end upon the throne of David and over his kingdom, to order it and establish it with judgment and justice from that time forward and even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. God's jealousy does not look like human jealousy. Rather, God's jealousy is his zeal for our safety, for our good. It's his loving care for us, and it looks more like this than this. "For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the 3rd and 4th generation of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments." The meaning of the word visiting here is that of an overseer. The role of the overseer is to watch over, direct, command, chastise, review, and count those in his charge for the purpose of producing work. According to the Brown Driver Briggs lexicon, visiting means to pay attention to observe, to attend to seek, look about for, to seek in vain, need, miss, lack, to visit upon, to punish, to pass in review, to muster, to number. God's role as overseer is very much like that of a good shepherd who is watching over his sheep, paying attention, observing, attending to, protecting, and counting and passing in review those that are under his care. God is that righteous judge who ensures that our freedom is protected until we pass the boundaries of his jurisdiction of righteousness and move over into Satan's jurisdiction of iniquity, which is the jurisdiction of good and evil. The overseer, the righteous judge, is not the punisher or the destroyer, but he is the one who allows and gives permission to Satan to do as he wishes to the people that have chosen his jurisdiction, the jurisdiction of the gods. We can see God clearly playing that role in Ezekiel chapter 9, where Jesus, dressed in linen, holds the writer's inkhorn, and suddenly 6 men came from the direction of the upper gate, which faces north, each with his battle axe in his hand. One man among them was clothed with linen and had a writer's inkhorn at his side. They went in and stood beside the bronze altar. Now the glory of the God of Israel had gone up from the cherub, where it had been, to the threshold of the temple. And he called to the man clothed with linen, who had the writer's inkhorn at his side altar. And the Lord said to him, "Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and put a mark on the foreheads of the men who sigh and cry over all the abominations that are done within it. To the others he said in my hearing, Go after him through the city and kill. Do not let your eyes spare, nor have any pity. Utterly slay old and young men, maidens and little children and women, but do not come near anyone on whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. God, the Good Shepherd, numbers the subjects of his kingdom, those who have chosen to follow him, and he puts a mark on them so that they cannot be touched by the destroyer. He then puts a hedge around them, a protection through which Satan cannot penetrate.